This short promotional film is designed to introduce you to our project, Age Exchange, Journey and Arrival, a Reminiscence Arts and Dance Project, Windrush 2026, in which we are bringing communities together through reminiscence, dance and storytelling across South London. Our project includes exploring our Windrush theme through dance, working with people living with dementia and their carers. We are also carrying out filmed interviews with members of the public who are sharing personal histories and family heritage of coming to live in the United Kingdom from the Caribbean islands via the Windrush through the 1950s and 1960s. Our interviews and dance will culminate in performance and multimedia film projection in July, so please watch this space.
Tell me your story for coming and how that came about. Because you're a very young person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, since I was a child, I wanted to be a nurse. Always wanted to be a nurse. I saw this midwife riding a cycle. I must have been 4 or 5. And I saw her riding the cycle and they said, oh, she's delivering a baby. And that's what I wanted to be. And growing up all those years, I wanted to be a midwife.
Because of that one
Because
moment?
of that one lady riding the cycle. So, of course, my brother came to England before me. And, of course, I told you we were close, so he's left me now, so I wanted to come as well. Mm-hmm. And then we heard this story on the radio because we didn't have television. Mm-hmm. And they were asking for nurses, and I wanted to be a nurse. And I was about 18, 19. And then I wrote to my dad and asked him for the fare because, of course, we didn't have the money. So he used to look after us. I went to private school. He used to pay for us and everything. And I asked him for the money. I wanted to join my brother. And when my brother came here, he had to go in the army because it was compulsory then. So he was in the army. So I had to go and stay with my aunt. So I wanted to come to England to do nursing. And when I heard that, they wanted nurses in England.
This is the NHS you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
Then I decided I want to come and do nursing here. And of course, we knew so much about England and it was the mother country and they would welcome us and everything else.
Verita, your reason for coming?
It was more or less the same, but I wanted to be a teacher because I was older than June and she had done her, senior Cambridge, did. I did. And the curriculum, was set from here. So we were following the curriculum. And I did the third year exam. It's an exam that for 3 years, 3 separate years, you do certain subjects like the first year. And this was after school. 2 hours after school, your parents paid for extra tuition because I wasn't fortunate enough to go to a private school, right? And when the government gives scholarships, they might give scholarships, say, for argument's sake, Cornwall College, I would say Montego Bay High School was a girls' school, and they would give, and that was private, and they would give scholarships, say, for 10 girls. But guess what? Maybe 100 girls apply out of that, and 10 they take in.
Cutting you short, it was who in those days as well.
Yeah.
Cecily, tell me where you were born, where you grew up.
I was born in Guyana.
Yeah.
I grew up in Guyana until I was 15 years of age, 15 and a half, roughly. My mom, previously to that, in 1957, 59, my mom and my father, who was separated, because she had 4 from my father.
Yeah.
She met my stepfather, and they decided to make life. He came during the Windrush, the heart of the Windrush, to England. And then he sent for my mom. My mom, at the age, I was 15, she left when I was 9. At the age of 15, my mom sent for myself, my sister, was a year after me, and my last brother for my stepfather. So she sent for 3 children to come to London.
And that's when you were.
I was going on 15.
15.
Yeah.
You have to act even more with your faces as you look into on a new land.
So Anya's point about waiting a few minutes till the first few,
like 3 or 4 lines of a poem.
3 or
so
4
as
lines.
an audience, I'd be listening to what it was about, and then you would start
and then we
to come in
make
and
our
understand
entries. So
who you
slow
were.
down the process of going through
Yes,
into the space.
Have strengthened the bonds through the generations of passed down stories. A history of resistance in a time of enslavement, the reality to you shrouded in secrecy unspoken. You have a duty was the mantra, as you've been called by the empire that presided over your far-off lands and sunny skies, crystal blue waters where flying fish preside.
Make sure you're holding it, everyone. So you pass it on around from one side to the other side. It's mine. Whose suitcase is that? Yes. You can turn around. It's mine. Yes. But don't go away. Don't take it away. Just keep it. Yes. Keep playing with it. Yes. How are you doing that?
Oh, actually, it was mine all along. I know it was mine.
Yes, that's it. I like that. Yes, it's mine.
That's mine.
Yeah, I love that. Yes. Look how we can interact with the people who are on the chairs. So I don't know if this is possible to hold somehow. 10. So you will have to come a lot faster. No, okay. Something to
Okay.
I don't know if you can reach.
Ben just
So we sway. Left, right, left.
Right. How many times are we swaying back and forwards? Do you know? Did you count it?
Okay, you can rock right.
Windrush poem. You have left your homeland with a heavy heart as you climb the steps to board the ship that will carry you over darker waters, your waves to disappear in the midst far gone. Clutch tight against your chest the gifts of memories you hold with pride to follow the call of a promised dream. Weep do you not for the beauty of your fair isle, to a place where darker skies prevail, where on green pastures rain will steal the day's light, where your sunshine is rarer and smiles on faces you will not encounter, for your difference will be measured in a test against your endurance. Although your dress code will be familiar, you will hold on to the tears that separate you from your kindred spirits, rich in silk of colour, music that keeps your heart a beat, rhythms roll onto your feet, to your scorched earth beneath the soles of your feet. The aromas of the familiar food that fills you with joy and familiarity have strengthened the bonds through the generations of passed down stories. A history of resistance in a time of enslavement, the reality to you shrouded in secrecy, unspoken. You have a duty was the mantra, as you've been called by the empire that's presided over your far-off lands and sunny skies, crystal clear waters where flying fish preside amongst the riches of life. A call, they say, by your motherland, choosing to ignore, earth mothers wore their crowns, where the strength of your fathers, warriors of endurance and enigmatic resilience, once stood valiantly in their moments to defend their battle cry. There will never be another, for she was gifted her sons and daughters in the promised land on white sand. So carry your hope with pride in defence of your kings and queens. Upright and stoic, blaze your trail like diamonds in the mine. Gather your flowers in bloom you have left behind, for the day of arrival their perfume will carry the sunshine and light, crystal blue waters, together as you once stood in the memories and stories that brought your people strength. The island of a diamond will be once more in the creation of new stories to be told forevermore, in the poets and the storytellers, creators of dance and song.
What is the reason for him thinking about coming to the UK?
Well, he always said he was invited by the Queen, and he wanted to come and make a better life for himself. So, which is what he did.
When?
He came over here in 1960. So, at that time, when they came to England, they didn't go on the dole or anything like that. He landed one day and had to go and find a job the next day because they got no help.
Tell me about this, because there's obviously, when you're saying, he said he was invited by the Queen, he must have had expectations of what he thought London, or that he came to London, the East End of London. Did he share that with you? What did he think it was going to be like?
I think he was quite shocked at the way he was treated, the way people spat at him and threw water and things over his head. When he used to go looking for somewhere to live, they'd open the window and throw water over his head, and it's really, you can't believe it unless you're really in that situation that they can treat another human being like that.
Now, you're an East End girl from Forest Gate. How did you meet this fantastic fella? How did that happen?
His friend lived next door to us, and the friend was a mechanic, so he used to repair Noel's car, apart from Noel going to visit, and he arranged a dance one weekend. Although I'd spoken to Noel when he used to go to the friend, it was only hello, but at the dance we got to know each other more, and it went on from there. But of course it wasn't something that I could say, Mum and Dad, here's my boyfriend. So it was all hidden and nobody knew, as I thought. So I suppose, 6-7 months. Everything was in a secret. I'd have to meet him somewhere, and then in his car, when we went past certain turn-ins where I thought my parents or my family might be around, I used to have to duck down in the car, and all very secret service type of thing. But then, unbeknown to me, a nosy neighbour had seen me in Noel's car. So my dad said that somebody had told him that I'd been seen with a black man. So then I got a lecture. If I got involved, my children wouldn't be one thing or the other. And really, wasn't agreeing with it, because I was the only girl out of 4 of us. I've got 3 older brothers. So I suppose he was extra protective. But then, as time went on and he did meet Noel, completely different, because he met the person, not judging him for being coloured or black, I should say. And, he was a human being.
You tell me where you want to start. Do you want to tell me about your mum and dad and where they come from, their backgrounds? Where do you want to begin with them?
I don't know, because it's a long story. But anyway.
Where were they from?
So, my mum was half Scottish, half Italian, and my dad was Jamaican. My mum was in care intermittently in her life, and she was like a Magdalena child, really. And anyway, so she met my dad in Scotland at a dance, and my dad was 9 years older than my mum. My mum was 16 at the time. So it didn't really go down very well, not with his family, not with her family in inverted commas. And
my mum said at her wedding, like, you'll see a beautiful photo of my mum and dad, but she said she's never seen so many people cry at her wedding because she was marrying an immigrant and they were worried about what the future would be. And for me, I feel like I was raised by children, because my dad was 21 when he arrived here, and his family were probably totally invested in his life. He was one of 10, and his price of his ticket was £80, which was a quite substantial sum in those days, 1956. So he could have bought land in Jamaica. So you just think all those hopes and dreams, and they come to this country. And then growing up, my dad was a very funny man. You know, we wouldn't say he was a life and soul, but he would come out with one-liners. Like, I can remember I went out with a doctor's son, and I brought this boyfriend to the house, and my dad, I saw them talking, and then my dad said, look, you're not applying for a job, I don't need a CV. So he could be really funny. But he was very outspoken within the family. But for me, I felt like he was the most unwelcome guest, really, wherever he went. Like, even for my mum and dad, there was a dinner at his firm that he worked for, which was unionised. And because they were a mixed couple, they weren't allowed to go together. So we kind of lived alongside brutal racism, but you lived alongside it. I can remember going to the Walworth Road, to the market, and the National Front newspaper being handed out, and you just walk past.
This is an interview with Yvonne Elliott on the 8th of June 2026 for the Windrush project. And Yvonne, you're going to begin by reading something for us that you prepared.
Thank you. As a grandchild of the Windrush generation, this project has really very close to home for me. My grandfather was in the British Army in Jamaica. He came to Britain to serve in the army. He was proud to contribute. And he was proud to build a life here, even though it wasn't always easy for Caribbean people at that time. His story is a big part of why I understand the strength and resilience of that generation. My mum came over a little later. She was about 16 after the first wave of Windrush arrivals. She actually left a life in Jamaica that she'd loved. She didn't want to leave her grandmother, and she didn't want to leave the life that she had. She had an amazing life in Jamaica, especially growing up. And as a child, I know she had a more of a privileged life, but she told us many stories about being really happy there and being at school and her friends. But a lot of her own cousins eventually came over as well, so she could be with them as well. So we all sort of grew up and got to know lots of different cousins and things, and which was lovely. And she studied here at college in London, and she built a life in the borough of Lewisham. She brought her Jamaican values, her culture, her warmth. She was just such a big spirit, and she was always fun, and she loved music, because music was such a big part of growing up in Jamaica as well, and it really shaped the way that I grew up. Jamaican culture has influenced Britain in so many ways: music, food, language, fashion, activism, community spirit. It's woven into everyday life, often without people realising where it comes from. For me, being part of this project is about honouring those stories while our elders are still here to tell them. It's about celebrating their contribution and making sure future generations understand the journey that brought us here. I'm proud of my heritage. I'm proud to help keep these memories alive.
That's wonderful.